In this video, I will have a look at what you can tell those negative people that want to prey on your dreams. We all have them in our lives. Sometimes they are close friends or family members or just friends of friends. Those people that will come up to you with only one thing in mind, and that is to be negative. Sometimes negative towards you or negative towards what you want to do. Now, it is very, very important for us to know how to handle and treat these people. These people really are often well-meaning little devils. They don't know what they do to us. They don't know that whatever negativity they spread may just be the end of our dreams and our passion. These people really are energy vampires. They will suck the lifeblood out of you if you are not careful. If you allow them in, then you will have a major, major problem. Now let me set the scene. The decision was made, so myself and my wife purchased a 39-foot sailing boat, and it was our intention to sail around the world. So that was our dream, and we passionately chased that dream. Now initially, our friends and family, they went, well, yeah, you know, it's just another phase that they're going through, that kind of thing. They never said that to us though, but I believe that that was what was happening. Now, as it gained momentum, we went on our training courses. We took our boat from one harbour to the next. We started staying on board. Now, as all of that happened, the amount of people that knew about our passion and what we wanted to do started gradually growing, because our family members would tell their friends, which would tell friends. So this whole thing started escalating. Now, if you can, and if you are busy changing yourself, then you need to consider whether you really want to tell anybody, especially for this reason. And everything was going okay. And we then started realizing that things were slowly changing. As our momentum progressed and as our passion became more, we started getting a small hint from especially people that was close to us. They would start to ask questions like, are you sure about this? You do know that you are going to take a major risk. Have you considered alternatives? I started answering those questions to the best of my ability, but soon realized that that was not enough for them. Then I started doing a lot of research. My wife and I decided to have long chats about this growing negativity within our family members and within our close friends. We also realized that it's going to be very, very difficult to sell our dream to them. So what do you do if you're in a situation like that? Research is definitely key. When we did this, there wasn't any Google for us to go to. So it was pretty much a question of going to libraries and looking for what we needed. One of my friends, one of my best friends, came up to me and he said, you know, you need to stop this now. Do you understand the tremendous risk that you're taking to cross an ocean on a small boat? You are going to drown. So please just stop this lunacy, both of you, and just, you know, try and do something else. I looked at him and I said, okay, let's address this. How many times, like in a month, do you cross a street? And he was dumbfounded and he just looked at me and he said, what the hell does that have got to do with you crossing an ocean? And I said, everything. I said, just answer the question. And he said, well, I work from the parking lot to my work, and I have to cross that street literally every day. And I said, so 60 times a month you cross a street? He said, yeah, about, maybe even more. And I said, okay, look at these statistics. You have a greater chance of being killed crossing the road in South Africa than I have crossing an ocean in a small sailing boat. And I showed him the statistics. He couldn't believe it, and he said, no, but, you know, but. And I said, well, just go away for now. Just think about this, and then we can talk about it later on. That worked with a lot of people, because as soon as you get away from the emotional aspect, like that emotions, you're going to die, you can't do this, go away from the emotions into a factual area, and by giving them facts and bringing them back to reality. The other thing that you can do is to, in a gentle and kind way, to set boundaries and to tell them that, you know, this is our lives, we have made this decision, and this is really what we want to do, and this is what we are going to do. And I would appreciate it very, very much if you support us in this venture rather than trying to break it down. True friendship means, for me now, true friendship in terms of you means your support. And I would dearly, dearly love to have your support. The other thing, if it's family members, it's often difficult because one needs to be diplomatic. Now, the other way to go about that is to know within yourself that you should not take this personally at all, because they are really well-meaning little devils, and you can treat them as such. You can also try, during conversations like these, to steer the conversation in another direction by talking about their dreams and not peeing on those dreams that they have. And that in turn, if you are supportive with their dreams and their ambitions and their goals, then they will see what real support looks like, positive support. One can also have, during discussions like that, make sure that you have an exit strategy so that you can get away of the energy vampires and the negativism which may affect you. And lastly, and probably most important of all, is you need to stay positive, you need to stay passionate, you need to keep chasing your dreams. If these people want to pee on your dreams, then they can go elsewhere to relieve themselves. Have a wonderful day.